Hi, my name is Matt, and today I want to make something from Last Strand out of Wormtown. So, to start, I make the armature for the worm. I start by making a, worm out of aluminum foil, and then segmenting it into 4 parts, because that's how many I want sticking out of the sand. So, once I'm done with that, I make the purple color that gets used. So this first purple is closer to one of the purple on the actual people that I'm going to be making, so I toss like half that to the side, and then I make something closer to the actual purple that's on the worm, which is much darker of a color. So then after that, I make the pink color that is seen on the worm. So once you have those 2 colors, cover the purple segments with the purple, and then you cover the pink segments in the pink. So, once you have that, I put a dark red inside the mouth in order to make sure that everything was not going to move and that it's all hard when it's baked. Then I cover that segment in pink, then the 2 purple segments in purple, make sure that it's all smooth this time because basic aluminum foil is pretty rough when it gets first baked, when it's just that on the armature. Then I cover the mouth of the worm with pink clay, and then a tube of pink clay around the actual mouth part in order to make it look more mouth-like. Then I bake some fake teeth and poke them into the mouth. Can't see that because I did it off screen. Then I get another tube of purple, and I wrap it around the very front of the mouth. Then I added some eyes as well. Then this gets baked and you start making the characters. So right now I have purple, red, blue, and a light yellow. So to make these characters, you start by sectioning off a bit of clay for the head while still attaching it to making the neck a lot easier. Then you segment where the limbs are going to be, so you indent where the arms and the legs get separated. Then you actually separate them, and then you just rub it around until it looks better. Once these legs get legged, then they are legs. So once it's all sized properly, start by making the feet where the ends of the leg should be, cutting off any excess clay on the actual feet, and then cutting the arms to size, making sure to keep extra clay for the hand balls that they have, because their hands are balls. So you get a bunch of clay, split it in half to get 2 evenly sized balls, and then attach them to the end of the arms, leaving no seam, so blending them in completely. I made these characters basically by hand, and right now I am thinning out the neck. And then once the neck gets thinned out, you push the head into the neck so that it's more round and bulbous. So now that is made, it's time to go on to the purple guy. So this follows literally the exact same process. Sectioning off the head, indenting the limbs where they get broken off, then breaking off the limbs. It's done the exact same way and with the exact same size, making sure again to make the legs correct, feet correct, and arms correct, and then adding the correct size balls for hands. So these again get blended into the hand, and then the neck gets shortened, and then the head gets round. Then again, now on the red guy, indenting the head, indenting the limbs, breaking off the limbs, smoothing to the correct size, and then flat, and then just doing the details. Then same thing for the yellow guy. So now that we have 4 of our characters basically completed, except for the head, I am going to set them in the correct positions with the blue man running, the purple guy crawled up into a ball, praying for his life, just crawled up neat into a ball, knees to chest, hands around the knees, just on the ground. Then the red guy with his hand up, waving, just no care in the world. And then, once you get the yellow guy, well, the red guy, not yellow, you work on the yellow guy, who is just sitting down, hands behind the back, just laying down, having a jolly good time. After this, you start on the details of the head, like the face and the hats. I start on the blue guy here, who has a hat with a gray little worm around the base of the hat, where the brim meets the top part. I don't know hat terminology. So, once that gets made, just push that into the head. If you are making this, you don't need to push it in the head straight away. You can make the face details before you push it onto the head, which I end up removing the hat later. Start with a gray nose, then get two eyes, the two eyes, and all of these characters most of the characters have eyebrows. You get the two black eyes on there. I remove the hat there to make it easier to work. Then you get the eyebrows. It has two flattened out worms of clay, made to look like he's nervous. And then you get the little beard, because they all got beards, I think. Most of them do. Then you just push that onto there and place the hat back on. Then after this, you work on the purple guy by putting on his nose, which I think is a dark purple, then getting the eyes and the eyebrows. And then, right here's the eyebrows he's getting on. He's got eyebrows now. And then, after he has eyebrows, you go on to his mouth or beard. I'm not sure which one it is for this guy. Couldn't tell. So, now you get this little Waluigi mustache, I guess. And then he's just Waluigi and purple guy. So, once that gets placed onto the head all good, now it's on to the yellow guy, who gets two brown eyes. Two dark brown eyes. Then he gets a gray beard, which it's just a thick worm that gets slightly flattened and pointy on two ends. And then once the gray beard is on there, you get a little red dot for the nose. Now, once that guy is done, it is time to work on the red guy's face. He gets his two black colored eyes, then his gray eyebrows, then the gray worms of his eyebrows, and after he gets his eyebrows, he gets his beard. Then after the beard comes the hat. He also has a nose that gets added later, but right now it's the hat. The hat has instead of the gray worm on it, has a red worm on it. This is a slightly darker red than the actual color of the guy, but you could probably use the same color and get away with it. Then you just get the nose. I use the same red here. You could use the same red as the guy. I don't think it really makes a difference because they're pretty similar in color anyway. So, once these get done, have two balls of red and blue clay, which gets flattened at one end and then cut into 6 almost evenly sized triangles. It doesn't really matter, but try and make sure that they're at least somewhat similar so that you get at least 6 good sized triangles from each. 3 from each. Then you just do alternating red and blue, and then after that you make the propeller for the little propeller cap, because I'm making a red and blue propeller cap. Then you just have a thick worm and a skinnier worm, turn it into a propeller, and get a little dot at the top of it where two things meet, and place it onto the already made hat. Then, out of some white clay, you make a 5th guy, and you make him sitting down with one knee up, one knee to the side, and his hands on his lap. So you start with the legs, make sure you're sitting, put the hands on the knees, and then after that, as he's all positioned, you place the hat on his head, and then you get ready for the face. This face is pretty close together, and it gets 2 black colored eyes, an actual mouth instead of a beard, I think. And then, after you get the mouth and the eyes, a tan nose. This is the last character that gets made, so once the face is done, all of these guys get baked. Now, the yellow guy did get baked, but his head got turned back while he was in the oven. This can be fixed. I fixed this by cutting off the neck, but this process did damage some of the other parts, and it broke off the arm and one of its eyes. So, you get a little stick. In order to fix the neck, you get a little bit of the same skin color, and then blend it in on the neck, this facing it more upright. Then I replaced the eye, and I put the arm back on using a dab of oven-safe glue. Then after that, I get a bunch of yellows, a bunch of orange, some tan, and some white colored clay. Combine all of these together, and then I turn it into sand color. Then this gets flattened into a very large sheet because there's so much here that needs to get placed on it. And then I start by placing the worm on it. I put the worm here at an angle, and then a bunch of balls on the end of it where it's coming out of the ground, similar to how I've seen it happen in the games. I think I might have needed to place more, but that's an issue for another day. Then I place 3 of the characters around it, the purple guy, the blue guy, and the red guy on the sand, and then I make a gray rock that gets placed behind the worm. This is where the other 2 guys go on, the yellow guy and the white guy, in order to have them view this. Alright, so now that this is baked, it's finished. If you like the project, like the video. If you want to see more like it, subscribe. And if you want to see me make anything that you might like in the future, make sure to comment it down below. I usually listen. So that's everything for this video, and hope to see any of you in the future if you want to keep watching.